with such a long distance back that you get sent if you screw up. Obviously, if there's a save, oh come on.
Yeah, before we begin this video, I just wanted to put up that little clip to show that, or in reply to the suggestion that I might have finally broken my no swear policy. Well, at least up to this point on the game. So, yeah, I wasn't going to swear on such a wasted jump, so, yeah. The footage from last time cut off, or the transition kind of cut off the end of my sentence, so there was the merest suggestion that I cut it off because I'd sworn, or that it might have sounded like I said something that I didn't. But, yeah, there you go. I haven't sworn yet. Yet. Back to regularly scheduled programming.
Okay, new room, but I can't let that goddamn Rainbow Miku screen go by without passing final comment on it. That was about 35 to 40 minutes of a real annoyance. I hate that screen so much. It seemed a lot longer than 35-40 minutes playing it, believe me. But I hate it. So yeah, that was the first time that I've done any cutting during stage parts or non-boss parts of this game. So yeah, well, I was going to say I was going to apologise for it, and say, well, sorry, I'm having to do it and all that. But frankly, I'm just, I'm not that good at the game. But I can do a let's play of this and not have to cut at that particular point. I mean, that's just stupid. I could have made a video of that in its entirety, that stage in its entirety, and it probably would have almost been my longest video that I've uploaded to date. So, just clearing one screen, which is just, stupid. There's no way I want to upload that. There's no need to put you through the suffering of having to watch that. Obviously, you wouldn't have to watch it, but still, For the last, I don't know how long, maybe 15-20 minutes of actually trying to clear it, I just literally was barely saying anything anyway, just kind of cursing under my breath, or every single time that you saw that I was getting really close to the end and then screwing up, slamming the desk and God knows what. So, yeah, that's... I hate that screen. It took... Despite it perhaps only taking 35-40 minutes, just way too long for my liking, and that's the last I'm going to speak of it. So, although it looks like I'm messing up quite a lot on this screen, which is I Want to Be the Unknown, I would say generally, it is thankfully the case after that Rainbow Miku stage, that the next three screens, in all honesty, are a little bit of a breather. I'm having huge trouble actually getting to this first save point, or even making this first little jump here, and the reason for that I think is because of the reaction of the jump here. It does seem, particularly on this downward slope, to be really not all that responsive to a jump. Like there, I pressed the button. That time I actually didn't, but you probably can't hear the sound of the keyboard. Well, you might be able to, but you probably can't tell, whether or not it's coming before I reach a certain point or not. But yeah, I swear to God, when I'm hearing that the keyboard is, hearing that the keyboard's making a noise, that it should be jumping and it's not, and it's particularly annoying. But I really hope this doesn't start to get into the realms of anywhere near the last stage, the Rainbow Miku one, because yeah, in all honesty, I don't believe, thank you, that this screen, or indeed the two after it, despite the fact that I will die quite a few times on them, are all that bad, and they really do serve as a breather after that godforsaken Miku stage. So the problem with this screen, or not a problem for the player, I suppose, is that all the spikes are at kind of these bizarre angles. So it's a little bit kind of disorientating and off-putting, and you kind of have to, position yourself in ways to kind of get to the screen perhaps you wouldn't ordinarily do, just because of the way the spikes are kind of angled. But as you can see, thankfully the second half of that was nowhere near as bad as the first for me, and yeah, that wasn't too bad. And this one isn't too bad either, provided you can remember where all the tricks and the traps are, and I think I've got a fairly good handle on remembering where they all are. So yeah, this one here fakes out. You then have to go to the right and then arc round again on the left hand side to get through with the next set. Trigger, please. Thank you. That can be a bit tricky to pull off, but yeah, a little bit like that. Now you have to kind of, once I get through, in fact, next time I die, I suppose I could demonstrate. I'd rather actually get through that segment and then demonstrate. Wasn't far enough over with the jump there. Come on. Come on. Come on, I built the last screen and indeed this screen and the next one up now to not be too bad. Let's hold up that end. The unknown room there wasn't really too bad, was it? I was making a colossal mess of getting to the first save, but having got there, the second save went by fairly quickly. I didn't expect this jump to be the main irritants here, I must admit, but it's either not quite triggering, or I'm just moving too far over to the right in order to be able to get myself back. Come on, seriously. I don't think this is all that bad. Right, thank you. Right, you have to make that jump in, well, fairly quickly, having kind of made the arcing jump round. Because that spike, the spike that you're now seeing to the left of me, be very careful to jump into it, Musto. The spike you're seeing to the left of me, that obviously detached from the wall and moves to the left and obviously blocks your path. So, yeah. So now you might think, with that little trigger, where on earth are you supposed to go? That's where you're supposed to go, in between the, because that block is fake. You're supposed to not jump into the spike though. So I was kind of building that all up in my head, thinking, oh, try and be clever. Oh, that spike now triggers. So now where are you supposed to go? And make it through all in one nice motion, just to, you know, really kind of put that little bit of credibility on this Let's Play. But well, maybe you don't think I'm doing too bad. I don't know. I don't think I did too bad getting through the first 4 stages, but yeah, now the deaths are really starting to rack up. Oh, what? You saw a bit more of what you're supposed to do there, but still I managed to clip the right-hand edge of the spike. Come on, let's go, please. Please don't tell me you're supposed to double jump through that. I swear a single jump is all you need. Maybe it is, but maybe I should be double jumping. I don't know. That's twice that I hit the very right-hand edge of it, which leads me to believe that I perhaps should do a double jump. I had indeed planned to that go, but I couldn't even get up. Ah, that's a bit better on that jump. Yeah, there you go. Fine, right. Goody, goody, goody. Right, let's move on, shall we? Let's position myself a bit better, because this jump I'm not positioned very well then, obviously. Still not. That's a bit better, right. Careful for more triggers. That one, no, that one doesn't trigger, does it? But, yep, careful for that. Go up here. And avoid all those triggers like that. So, yeah, you might have been wondering why I did all the things I did there, but yeah, basically there are invisible blocks which actually, well, block your path. There are spikes that trigger, so what I did there, right up to the point where I died, is how you yeah, fake everything out and progress through that section. As you obviously saw here, on your drop down through that area, if I can get to it, when I get back to it, I'll point it out. Yeah, this jump here, the area just below me, obviously you saw a spike come up, so I have to perform this mid-air jump through the spikes. Without obviously landing, because spike raises up from the floor, so you can't stop to catch your breath. Right, can we get this bit right this time? No, we can't, because I haven't made the jump again. That's not tricky, especially compared to that or that. But as I said, the difficulty on this screen really, I suppose, is knowing where to go and what you need to do in order to get through it. Once you know where the traps are, there's not any particular jump I find that's all that bad. You know, certainly nothing like anything that we've had previously in this stage. This one's probably the most annoying bit of the screen, although I'm finding this one the most annoying at the moment. Right, can we get this right this time? Thank you. Right, now the 2 blocks immediately after here are fake, so I've got to do something like that here. Let me demonstrate. Let me fail to remember that there was a spike that moved there. So now I know it's there. I don't... Actually, there might be one more trigger. No, I don't believe there are any more triggers after here. It's just a pixel perfect jump. Or maybe not pixel perfect, but a precise jump anyway. And hopefully I'm doing a fairly decent job of pointing out that the stages after that Miku one are really not that bad. What the hell was that? Seriously? Have I just set myself up to the most giantly idiotic death in the history of my Let's Plays? I was not gloating, I don't think that's quite the right word, but I was lording over the fact that I'd pretty much done this screen. I don't remember that. What the hell? Have I got... Is there really a spike there that moves? I didn't see any spike move to the left. Did any of you? Have I got to jump over this? Well, that's just ridiculous. Now, I knew I was going to die on there on my next screen pretty much because it almost kind of like there's water here and it drops you down. But thankfully there is an automatic save here, so you don't have to kind of like turn around and hit the save. So I was always prepared that I was going to die immediately after clearing that screen. But yeah, the automatic save is a big help, obviously. But yeah, I don't know what on earth happened at the end of that Blood Festival screen. Really don't. As you can see, I've already made my way to the first save on this screen. The intermediary saves obviously make this that little bit more bearable. This is a pain in the neck to do, or would be, without intermediary saves. And I am actually going to make this. I'm going to die quite a bit on this because it is very easy to repeatedly die or quickly die. Sorry, on this because some of the manoeuvres are quite intricate, but. Yeah, the intermediary saves make this stage the last one I was claiming. Can I please get down a bit quicker than what you're giving me here? Thank you. I thought there was something a bit odd about how quickly that I was dying on that, or how that fruit was going around too quickly. But yeah, I've saved at a slightly different position on my way down now, so thankfully, or what it looks like anyway, is that I can make this first jump a bit nicer. I can't make the one jump after it at the moment. But yeah, I'm actually going to make this a lot easier on myself than I did the first time I went through because I stupidly did not appreciate that you could shoot through the spikes and hit that save. So I was doing everything from the save the lower save that you can see all the way through to the end of the screen, and believe me, that is an absolute pain. So yeah, thankfully on the realisation that you can hit that save, this is a lot more bearable. It's still a little bit tricky to get through, I'm not going to lie. But yeah, this is just going to go, well, if it goes worse than it did my first time going through, then I'm having an absolute nightmare on this final little bit. And I say, I will die quite a bit on this screen, on this little part of the screen, or I think I will anyway, because the 2 fruits in the little octagon shape that above where I am at the moment, that is random. They position themselves in different patterns. As you can see here. Here they're moving leftwards. Here again they're moving leftwards. But now one of them is moving in a slightly different pattern. So what you often find is that you get a particular pattern here that's a lot nicer than the other ones. But I'm not going to kind of stop to reset every single time. I'm just going to obviously just make a run for it and hope for the best. But yeah, it's a little bit dependent, to be honest, on what pattern these fruit go in. So, yeah, somewhat annoying actually. There are nice patterns for this, and there are not so nice patterns. And that's not a very nice one. I'm not quite sure actually, in all honesty, just from even just playing it through, what the nicest set would be, but if I could just make that just that little bit quicker, then I would be timed perfectly so I don't hit the fruit on the second way round. But as you can see, it's there, that one, like that. But having to kind of position yourself and stall is really annoying. I say I will die over and over on this bit, but despite that, personally, I don't think it's all that bad. Oh, terrible, terrible timing to get through there. No! Oh, yes. Go, 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 go! Come on, don't mess up here. Oh, come on! That last jump actually is quite annoying because you're not doing like a horizontal kind of jump, if you will. And this one here I'm doing at the beginning is a, you know, we're fairly familiar with that kind of a jump. I know it's in water, but it's dead horizontal, and you know, by this point in time we're all quite familiar with that kind of a jump. The one at the bottom is at an angle, and the stems of the fruit actually kind of are sufficiently annoying that they'll often catch you when you try to position yourself to make that jump. So I'm really trying to be quite cautious and move off at the best possible time once the fruit has cleared the path, because if it hasn't, the chances are the fruit that will catch up to you. But yeah, I'm dying just way too. Well, I don't know about way too much. I have said quite repeatedly now, I will die a lot on this screen, but it's starting to feel like more than it really should. And timing this is a bitch as well. Oh! Time the fruit, but not the spike jump. As I say, just being slightly off from horizontal makes it a little trickier to judge. Damn it! Oh. Goddamn changing fruit pattern on this first bit. Sometimes you just get one that's right in your way. And what's really, really irritating is the timing of the fruit that I hit almost all the time while trying to make the gap, because you almost feel like you need to move quickly through this section, or first section, to give yourself enough time, but you never seem to quite be able to make it past the fruit circling round on the second one if you go for it like that. So you have to mess around a little bit in this first octagon, but you're so conscious about wanting to get through it quickly that it just, yeah. Don't get me wrong, this screen is irritating, but concentrate. Yes! I think I might take a quick breather there, because this is a bugger of a screen. So I'm going to take a very quick breather here. Right. As I was saying, this screen is annoying. PYF, and you know, in all honesty, I know I want to be but I really think well, every time I see it, I always think it stands for piss you off. So that's what I really think this should have been called. I want a PYO. But yeah, that's what I think of every time I see this screen. So thankfully now I finally made that first jump. You can obviously see there's a bit of a pyramid of spikes here. What you need to do is get yourself in the bottom right hand corner while that spike retracts. Make a little loop jump through, as easy as said, and then after that the real fun starts. There is that little section with the two spikes that you kind of see hanging. You kind of need to do a tap, a double jump over them to get through. You obviously have to be careful not to hit your head on the leftward facing spike hanging from the ceiling. And then there's a whole mess of crap that's still to come after that. Suffice to say, this screen is another personal least favourite of mine. Once we get past this one, actually, in all honesty, the rest of the stage I don't think is all that bad. The final screen is absolutely nothing. We'll see when we get there what that is, but I'm not in the slightest bit worried about what the final screen of this stage is. The one after it, it can go either way, but it's less irritating than this, certainly in my opinion. There's just so many intricate jumps in order to get to the first save. The second half, actually, I don't believe is as bad as the first. It's just getting to the first save, and yeah, I'm going to call it now. There's going to be almost certain cutting of me getting through this stage of this screen, because it's a pain in the neck and it's going to take me a while. Again, this is the first jump. I find if I kind of get into a rhythm of having made it, then I'll continue to make it, because it's all about brilliant. It's all about kind of setting off the brilliant again. It's all really about kind of setting off the jump from the right position. And once you do that one time, you're perhaps likely to maybe hit that spot again the next time. But once I've messed up once, then the chances are I'll mess up again and again. And why the hell am I not moving far enough to the right to avoid that spike? Of all of them to get hit by, it's slow moving, and yeah, well, yeah, it's about the spike I'd least like to get hit on, frankly. That jump, now I've kind of got to that a few times, I can maybe talk about that a little bit now. The one with the 4 spikes hanging to the left, you obviously have to a little bit more than a tap, but you have to kind of do the double jump, obviously, a little bit, again, like how you would get by the 2 set of spikes just before it. The whole thing's obviously not helped by spikes on the ceiling, and it's just a really intricate jump. And you haven't exactly got a massive area to land on when you finally pull it off. So when you do pull it off, you've got to have the wherewithal to position yourself right on the right-hand edge of the ledge, which is doubling back on yourself, by the way, as well. So that, yeah, you land on the corner of the little ledge, and avoid the tiny spike that's on the floor. So yeah, just so much to keep track of. All the jumps are non-standard. They're all awkward. How long have I been going so far? 4 minutes? I don't know. I'll give this maybe a couple more minutes or so, and then yeah, already you're probably going to start to see me cutting to get to points where I'll get to bits I hadn't before, and the one with the 4 spikes is particularly irritating because I feel like I don't want to land on the spikes from above, so I tend to always jump too high and hit my head on one of the ones on the ceiling. Just force of habit, really. You're so conscious about, at least, if nothing else, not landing on one of the ones, on the floor. That's not to say that I won't, but I think typically, if you were to count up my deaths on trying to make that jump at the end of the day, you'd find that I got hit on the ceiling spikes more often than I did the floor ones. Yeah, everything in this screen is just positioned to piss you off. PYO, that's what this should have been called. At least in the first half. I'm not going to go on record and say the second half is a cakewalk, but it's easier than the first. God damn it, that one was about the best attempt I've had so far, and yet again I jumped too high. Bugger. Made the jump through the horizontal spike bit, but was just slightly too far over to the right. Oh, joy. Right, made that jump. Now that one. This is an absolute bastard. I hate that bit so much. You need to kind of duck down in between probably the two spikes that are closest to where you start off. And yeah, dip the kid down in between the tips of those spikes and then jump almost full height over to the left. But bloody hell, that jump's a pain. And I'm sure you'll see many, many failures coming up shortly. Like that! So close, but I didn't jump high enough. And the danger there is if you do jump really, really high, you catch your head on the spike on the ceiling. So I hate that jump. Yes! God, I hope that didn't scare anyone. Thankfully, that didn't take all that long, just about 20 minutes or so to beat it in total. But yeah, that went actually a lot better than I was expecting. So, yippity doodah. Let's get on with the second half. Which, yeah, I certainly hope it's not going to take that long. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if it did, but yeah, shouldn't take, hopefully, that long. So this first jump, obviously, you've got to jump and then double jump through two spikes. That's not too bad. The tricky bit that obviously I'm having problems on at the moment is jumping around this spike here and indeed not hitting my head on the ceiling. Basically, you've got to do that all in one go because, as you can see from the floor kind of area there, well, there's nothing to land on until way, way, way over to the right-hand side. So you've got to loop round there, all in one go, a bit like that. And then you've got to loop round. Whoa, yes. Loop. Ah. That's probably the. Although I was making a mess of the, and still will do, and indeed still am. Making a mess of this jump, although I'm getting a little bit better at it, if it's like. Yeah, that one where you kind of jump off to the right and then round to the left is probably the trickiest part of the getting now out of this screen. I'm not really sure I can offer too much advice on where I kind of position myself in order to try and make the jump, but well, yeah, a little like that, but just a tiny bit over to the left. But yeah, I don't think there's anything I can really, not that low. I don't think there's anything really that's kind of all too much to say about that jump. To say this one here, you obviously just need to say you definitely obviously need to do it all in one go. You need to be far enough or do a long enough jump so that you clear the top spike and the one that's the ones that are kind of aiming to the right, but you obviously not to be sufficiently high that you hit your head on spike on the ceiling, and then you obviously need to make sure that you're not too far over to the left, which is what I'm doing a bit perhaps too much of at the moment, so that you can in order for you to be able to make the loop round jump to the right. But I'm putting almost such a premium on at the moment on not jumping too far to the left, that I am, hitting the kind of early spikes like that. That was kind of a perfect demonstration of what I was trying to avoid, but I'm obviously just not doing it all that well at the moment. Damn it! Yeah, come on, no! Don't mess up on that one so much, please. Yeah, the one with the loop around, so you go to the right and then you go back to the left, is definitely, I think, the trickiest bit. Bugger! Once you make it through that, I'm not going to say the rest is categorically easy or straightforward, but yeah, once you've got up to that point, you've cleared the worst of this this half. Hold on, I don't want to have to. I particularly want to worry about cutting. Yay! And I won't. I may just take a brief pause while to celebrate clearing that bitch of a screen and stop the recording going on for too long. So yeah, I will take a brief pause there and pick it up in just a second. Let's continue on. I want to be the Locus, and this stage has two gimmicks. The first one, which you'll experience through the first half of the screen, is that the kid becomes wide all of a sudden. So what would be fairly simple spikes to manoeuvre through if you're normal sized, suddenly becomes that little bit trickier. And for some weird reason, I tend to find, well, I've pointed out, like, good God, it's not the first jump I usually find all that tricky. Yeah, that one. I don't know why I find that one, that jump there, the most, potentially the most irritating of this first half. But for whatever reason, it seems to be the case. Not at the moment, since I'm struggling to get there. Well, that's about the third time I've died on it at least. But yeah, I remember that. Yeah, this one here, the first time I played, being the bugger for some reason. Obviously, being wide, you just need to pay a bit more attention to where you're jumping, where you're landing, etc. It's not terribly bad, in all honesty. There, you know, you still have quite a bit of room. The hitbox is a little bit difficult to decipher. Sometimes you'll see the kid's cape kind of, you know, in a spike, etc., and that can be a bit tricky. There's a spike there that fakes out, so watch out for that. But that is the first half done. Now there are a bunch of fake floors here, so let's see if I screw this up or not. Nope, good. All that area down there is complete fake floor, and there's a set of spikes down there, so yeah, you need to be careful, watch out for that. The second half of the screen, we go through this little icon that says SPD, which presumably stands for speed. So the kid goes hyper and gets really, really fast. So if I can do a bit better of a job here and not walk into the spike going off the left-hand wall there. So what I was trying to do on the first go when I hit the left-hand wall was exactly what I was trying to avoid, or what happened on the second go, whereby I died on the spikes sticking out of the right-hand wall. So yeah, I held left in order to try and prevent that from happening, but held left sufficiently quickly enough that I jumped into the left, or fell on the left-hand spikes. So second time, of course, what do? I don't hold left at all, and I land on the rightmost spikes. So I obviously need to find a happy medium. Once you kind of get the rhythm down for the wide part, that starts to not be too bad. So it's just kind of, God, bleh. It's the speed one, which I suppose is easy enough to hopefully appreciate or understand, but actually is the more kind of off-putting of the two sections. Because yeah, although this one, and again that not this one, that spike that it's just ugh. The spike on the leftmost spike on the second highest ledge seems to be the one that causes me the most irritants. But yeah, the speed half is the most off-putting of the two, in my opinion anyway. Not too late with my jump. I could have actually, having not made the jump there, demonstrated that in fact that is spike. Those are spikes there, but yeah, I'm sure you appreciate I don't have any real particular reason to lie or fabricate anything. So yeah, if I fail to make the jump next time, if I don't instinctively press R again, I might show that off. But yeah, if not, then yeah, believe me, there are spikes there. I don't feel particularly inclined to show it off unless I screw up. See, I knew that was going to happen. The go before, I jumped far too late, so of course I completely overcompensate next time and jump far too early. I could have, in fact, I should have called that just to demonstrate. I absolutely, pretty much could guarantee that was going to happen. I don't believe there's now any danger next time of me hitting my head on the ceiling spike. So what will happen next time is I'll either make it or I'll fall in the pit when I can get back there. Oh, come on, don't start dying to that spike. I'm not even sure I died to that until I've done so 3 times in a row now. Yeah, if I just double jump over it, that will save me some pain, hopefully. I don't know why I wasn't double jumping over it before. Yeah, as you can kind of see, the kid does look like potentially that part of his scarf or whatever is in between spikes, but particularly in the when he's wide anyway. But yeah, so if you kind of imagine I suppose his feet really, and just kind of concentrate on making sure, particularly on the in between spike jumps, that his feet are kind of safe, then generally I guess you should be fine. That jump there at the top with the kind of leftward facing spike, this one here, the upward spike and the rightward spike, I don't kind of try to make that movement all in one go. I mean, I'm sure you can, but when I kind of jump up to get to it, I kind of jump through to the left. I kind of pause for a little bit once I've kind of gone a little bit to the left and not try and clear it all in one swinging movement to the left, because it just find it damnation. Just find that I can't quite make the jump when I do that. So, but yeah, it's a little hard to describe, and it might not be all that actually noticeable from when I'm actually making the jump. But I swear I'm making a very slight kind of pause in my movement. So, kind of here, I'm kind of stopping a little bit and then kind of going on. So obviously I kind of waited too long before, or stopped for too long, and got on a floor spike. But what I find happens is if I try and make that jump all in one go by just continually holding left, then I'll get hit on the spike coming out of the left wall. So yeah, I do like to try and pause a little like that. No! There we are. So, who wants to bet that I'll hit my head on the spike next time I get to that jump? Well, we'll find out. God damn, the speed bit is really disorientating. Not quite as much as the symmetry room, but I mean, you're still kind of able to gauge a little bit about, you know, how far to plan your kind of movements. But that being said, it just does mean you've got to really be precise with all your jumps, and yeah, just fit through areas which are quite narrow as well. Having got, or when I got to the furthest that I had, if I'd kind of made that jump, to be honest, the rest was again, I hesitate to say easy, because next time I get that far I'll probably screw up beyond that point. But in all honesty, the furthest bit I died to is probably the last really tricky manoeuvre. So had I made that, I'd have been reasonably optimistic that I'd have cleared the rest. I can be optimistic about clearing a bit without it necessarily being easy. Damn. To be honest, that little bit I just died on there is possibly the hardest part of the the speed area, just because well, you can probably gauge just by looking over to the right. That's the bit where the spikes are the closest together. So when you're all hyper, you'd really like there to be slightly bigger gaps between spikes, but that particular set, they are quite close together. And it's the most difficult bit probably to judge, god damn, of the speed section. I'd like to know how long I've been going on for this bit, maybe about 10 minutes or so, I don't know. I'll maybe give this another couple of minutes or so, and then regrettably I'll probably start cutting to the beginning of the speed section. And would you believe that this is probably the last bit of the entire stage, and I'm including the boss, by the way, in that statement as well. I'm not worried about, because I'm gonna clear it eventually. This isn't like something in stage 6 where I'm actually slightly unsure whether I will actually be able to do it again. But yeah, so in all honesty, well, the final screen, the non-boss screen of this stage is absolutely nothing to worry about. I'm hoping I can breeze through that in, you know, no more than 2 minutes, in all honesty. Yes, I know I'm not joking. Nor am I really all that concerned about the boss. It's this screen that's going to be probably the irritants remaining on this stage. Particularly when you die on the wide part. The spikes that you really should never be dying on, like this one, over and over and over again. I've got about a minute, that one's going to die as well. I've got about a minute left. Come on now, I can't even make this first jump now. Christ. Go bugger it! Well, while I'm there, I might as well. That is about 12 minutes, but I might as well comment on that failure. I was moving too much to the left there, so that I caught myself on the edge of the wall, coming up to that point, coming up to that jump. So yeah, I didn't have enough time to move far enough over to the left, and that was really irritating. Oh, come on, don't walk too far off the edge of that bit. That's one of the worst spikes I could possibly die on. Oh, I knew it. Well, I didn't know it, but as soon as I hit the jump button, I knew it. Let me put it that way. I kind of feel like I'm getting to the speed section just that little bit more often now, so I'm just slightly holding back on cutting anything at the moment. I'm just, god damn! I did not expect to die twice in a row to a ceiling spike there. Oh, come on! I don't want to cut this. This doesn't feel tricky enough to warrant it. But if it's going to take this long, I think I'm going to have to start thinking about it. Well, I'd already thought about it. Actually going to have to start doing it. Bloody hell. I would have to die on the last jump, wouldn't I? Just as I say, this is about the only thing left in the entire stage that's going to irritate me. And yes, I do stand by that. Why would I have to fail on the final jump of the screen? in all honesty now, dying at any point in time, I hate that spike! At any point in time on this first half of it it's just getting more and more irritating. I mean, and yeah, I know the kid's all wide and everything, but for God's sake, that spike can just go to hell. It's not like any of these jumps or anything are all that intricate, and I generally find there's more than enough room, you know, to get by really relatively easily. Ah. I hate that spike. Right, that wasn't too long after I was talking about cutting blah 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 and I was still talking, so I doubt I'll actually have cut any of that out. So, yay. That was the last irritants of the stage. Yay! Well, I certainly hope so anyway. Let's press on. I've cleared Boshy, or beaten Boshy, so many times that this really is nothing. By the way, what you have to do there on the save is you do kind of have to make the jump round and then save it, a save like I did there on the right hand side, because it is slightly different, this screen, despite the fact there's a caution sign, in that you cannot possibly make the jump if you start off on the left hand side on the block or on the upside down spike to the left of the save. It's too much of an angle to get round in one go. So yeah, you have to double jump over to the right hand side and save there, so that now you get your kind of double jump or your single jump on after you fall sufficiently far. You can be far enough over to the left before you have to worm your way round. So yeah, come on, I'm already a bit annoyed. I've died just quite so many times here. I said 2 minutes, didn't I? I don't know how long this has been, but I get the impression it's going on for about 2 minutes. Come on now, I got to the first save without dying at all. But yeah, I've beaten Boshy so many times that this screen just doesn't pose any worry for me whatsoever, really. I've also beaten a version of it in the original Kamilia game as well, so I don't think my 2 minute estimate is going all that well. Well, I don't know, we'll see. You can go, well, you could go to the right, but that's not where you're supposed to go. You're supposed to go down. And that was, of course, I want to be the Boshy, and we're at the boss, so we're going to get I want to be the Boshy boss. I'm not even going to pretend or save whose this is for later. If you didn't recognise who this was going to be from the opening bit, then, well, you've either never played Boshy or have no idea about I Want to Be games. Yep, it's Solgren again, and I'm not going to fight him this time. I'm just showing off the opening scene, etc. So, prepare for death 2357. We'll begin the fight with Solgren for real, where hopefully I'll explain why this boss no longer, I believe anyway, will irritate me. It did on the first playthrough, I can absolutely assure you of that. But not, funnily enough, because of anything Solgren did. But yeah, now that I have whatever I'm going to be discussing about what really irritated me the first time, now that I have that down, or at least I believe I know what to do quite well for that bit, yeah, I'm not expecting this to be too bad. But we'll find out next time.